What is up, guys? Bixis here. We're coming at you with the new Overwatch leaked patch notes. Now, I don't know if this is official, but when you're going to make a video on it, because if it is real, it is obviously going to be a massive change for the entire way the game plays. So we're talking about that. We haven't made much Overwatch content recently, but there's been a ton to talk about, other than Maga being completely fucking broken and then getting nerfed. So yeah, well, now we're into the new season again, so we're going to be talking about the patch notes. Let's start it off. I got everyone here with me. I'm going to go over the hero updates, and we're going to switch off here. I'll start with the general. Global projectile size increase. Looks like everyone's projectiles will be increasing in size, making shots easier to hit. Interesting. Most damage dealing projectile sizes have been increased, allowing heroes to hit targets. Hit scan weapons with high spread and rate of fire, such as 76, have been increased. Interesting. I don't know what that means. High spread and rate of fire have been increased by 0.05. Oh, that's the increase of the projectile width. Average hit scan weapons, such as Cassidy's Peacemaker, have been increased by 0.08. Travel time projectiles that are shotguns, such as Roadhog and Ramatra, have been accelerated by the same as the soldier ones. Travel time projectiles that travel slower than 50 meters per second, such as Pharah, are increased by a lot. And projectiles that travel 50 meters per second or faster, such as Hanzo, are increased by 0.1. So Hanzo getting a really tiny one, probably because headshots on Hanzo will be broken. What do you guys think of this? I think it's interesting. I don't really know how that's going to work, or how much it'll actually change things, but it seems. What do you think the point of this is?
To make the game easier.
More accessible,
But
I guess. It's
Less
interesting.
role the reliant.
I mean,
on a bunch of little buffs here.
it will make
It'll
shots
it'll
easier to hit
demoralize
on
the healers.
people. Well, healers. Well, we talk about that in a second. Brody, you can go over the We're not going to talk about this. Brody, you can go over the health pool update.
Alrighty. The total hero health pool for
Holy
all heroes, including
storage.
health, armor, and shields, are increased from around 15 to 20%.
Very interesting. We'll talk more about that down the list. We did a quick little, look over. Speaking of that, though, Nathan, you can go over the tank changes as the resident tank player here.
Pilot Diva health increased from 150 to 175. Mech Diva armor increased from 300 to 375. Maga health increased from 300 to 400. That's a big thing. Arissa armor increased from 275 to 350. Ramatra health increased from 200 to 275. Reinhardt health increased from 200 to 250, and armor increased from 250 to 275. Roadhog health increased from 550 to 650. He's a full-on tank now. Sigma shields increased from 200 to 275. Winston health increased from 200 to 225, and armor increased from 200 to 250. Wrecking Ball armor increased from 100 to 175.
So all tanks pretty much getting buffs across the health pool. Now, I'm not quite sure, because now if everyone gets a health buff, isn't it almost like nobody getting one? But I guess in a way, since they're not increasing the damage, this is to make up for what I believe to be what we like to call damage creep. Power creep is, if you want to call it that, where characters have been getting stronger and stronger and stronger, doing more and more damage. Tanks even get shredded now, and Overwatch has become a one-shot festival. So they're trying to get rid of that by not buffing the damage and buffing the health pools of everybody. It might actually sound like people are going to take forever to die now, but I don't actually know if that will be the case, because it might just bring it back to where it was when Overwatch started. Let's talk about the damage ones. I'll go into that myself. Oh my lord, that's a lot. Ashe, 200 to 250. Bastion, 225 to 275. Cassidy, 200 to 250. Echo, 200 to 250. Yeah, this one's scary. Kenji, 200 to 250. Hanzo and Junkrat, same thing. Mei, 200 to 300. Mei is 300. Wow. Pharah, 250 for Pharah is actually quite a bit too. Reaper, 250 to 300. Sojourn, 250. Soldier, 250. Sombra, 250. Symmetra, shield increased 100 to 150, so she's getting shield buff. Torb, health 200 to 250. Tracer, the smallest one, 150 to 175. That makes sense. And Widowmaker, 175 to 200. A lot of interesting stuff here. Mei, 300 health on a Mei actually sounds kind of wild, but I guess, again, shots will be a little easier to hit, so. And Brody, I suppose you could talk about supports, since you
Oh
are the
boy, I
support.
wonder what this will be. Anna health increased from 200 to 250. Baptiste's health increased from 200 to 250. Brigida health increased from 150 to 200. Alaria health increased from 200 to 250. Kiriko increased 200 to 250. Lifeweaver increased from 175 to 200. Lucio increased 200 to 250. Mercy 200 to 250. Moira 200 to 250. Zenyatta health increased from 75 to 100, and shields increased from 150 to 175.
Pretty much flat buffs for everybody across the board, almost exactly the same. Um, Interesting now, global health generation passive. We'll have to discuss this one here. All heroes now regenerate 20 health points per second after 5 seconds of not taking damage. So if you're on a tracer and you blink away from a fight, you can now go heal yourself and your supports don't have to run you down. This change I actually like quite a bit, meaning that if your supports aren't doing everything they need to be doing, you can kind of get yourself back in the fight versus just I don't know how many times anybody has had this where you get out of a fight, you're hiding around a corner waiting, I'm at 10 health, I'm at 10 health, I'm at 10 health. You can now get yourself some heals without having to even go find anything. What do you guys think of this passive?
It's fine, but I feel like it'll help a lot more for characters like Wrecking Ball.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like mobile characters they can get out of the line of sight.
That or
Not
like
gonna
say
help
like
Ryan.
there's a tank on the point and they kill the last two people, take the point back, and
Oh yeah, that's a
everyone
good
else is
point.
dead. While they're waiting to come back, they can heal a little bit
Yeah, you can start
before
healing
the
to get
healers
ready
get back.
to prep versus having to wait for your healers. All right, another interesting one. All hero ultimate casts are increased by our costs are increased by 10%, so less alts going off. I don't think this will change that much considering the fact that everyone's going to have it apparently. But it will make it so it'll be less of that, save 6 alts and then just retake the point for free type deal. You might have to actually just contest without your alts. So that's interesting. Let's talk about character-specific changes. I don't know if there's that many, but we'll go through them. I'll do the first three, and then we'll switch off. Diva, self-destruct radius now increased from 900 to 1,000, and crush radius from 4 to 6 meters. So Diva's getting a pretty sizable buff. Doomfist, max impact of rocket punch by 25 increased. Max damage on the wall slam 30 to 40. Big buff. Doomfist kind of needs buffs. He's not really that great. So I think that's good. Diva should be pretty strong now. And then Junker Queen, Rampage, wound damage over time. Oh my lord, increased from 60 to 90. If this is real, that is pretty large. All right, Nathan, you can take the next three.
Reinhardt, Rocket Hammer, damage increased from 85 to 100. Charge, wall impact or increased from 225 to 275. Winston, Tesla Cannon, damage increased from 60 to 75 damage per second. Primal Rage, punch damage increased from 40 to 50.
A
And then
lot of little
Zarya,
damage increases.
Particle Cannon, primary fire beam width increased from 0.15 to 0.20 meters.
So there's a lot of damage increases here, which is really making me question the need for the health jumps if you're just going to give everybody damage increases. But I guess they feel like certain people like Ryan will need that buff to keep the consistency of being able to kill. All right, Brody, you could talk about damage. There's some interesting
Alrighty.
changes here, and then you can go through the first three.
Wait, that was a
Reload speed
thing?
bonus on elimination has been removed.
I did not know that
New
was a
role
thing.
passive,
I don't
dealing
either.
damage reduces healing. Blocked on streamed. I don't know if that's actually
I'm not
anything.
sure what that means either.
Ash, Bob weapon damage increased from 14 to 17.
Solid. Like it.
Cassidy, Deadeye, initial damage rate increased from 130 to 150. Damage rate increased from 160 to 300.
Wow.
Echo, focusing beam, width increased from zero point 0.2 to 0.25 meters. Duplicate, maximum combined health, including health, armor, and shields, increased from 300 to 350.
My God. That's just getting blasted on Echo right when I ulted. Genji, Dragon Blade, swing recovery decreased. Now that's going to be fucking fun. You swing faster now. Hanzo, Storm Arrows, damage increased by 10 and cooldown reduced by 2. And I'll talk about this as the resident Pharah player here. We have a Pharah rework. Um, this tracks. This will be the Pharah rework. Rocket launcher, self damage percentage decreased by half. Recovery reduced by 0.5. Projectile speed increased on your rockets. That'll actually probably screw me up at first. Jet dash, new ability on secondary fire. Option to set jet dash to double jump. Horizontal dash in the direction you are moving. So basically what normal Pharah players will do with their E by 180ing E 180
What did you just
flying
say?
across the field. Um, will now be an ability. Interesting. Jump jets now will be 20% weaker, cooldown increased, and give you 50% of your fuel back. Um, a concussive blast is 25% weaker on knockback, range decrease, cooldown decreased, and also now does damage. And rocket barrage now instantly reloads your rocket launcher. Hover jets, your basic hovering, is now decreased by 20%. Speed boost increased by 100%, so your hover jets make you move way faster now. Now gives you better aerial maneuverability. No longer refuels. What the hell? No longer refuels in air. Only refuels on ground. Fuel can increase to 200% capacity if filled from ground. Can be used without fuel to slow your descent. That is an interesting change. If this is real, once again, we'll have to see how it works because holy shit. That is a lot of differences, and a lot of it sounds better, but it sounds like she's going to have a little bit more skill now, bouncing around the air a little bit more quickly, but we will see. Symmetra. Brody, I'm not going to make you talk about Symmetra. I know you have a burning hatred for her. Nathan, I know you do as well, but you have a one little friend you hate a little bit more. So, Nathan, you could talk about the Symmetra change.
Photon projector primary fire beam width increased from 0.15 to 0.25.
All right. Brody, you got some support changes here. Let's see what we got.
My goodness. Regenerative passive now reduces the delay before generation begins by half, 2.5 seconds. Brigida, rocket foil, damage increased from 35 to 45. Kiriko kunai, base projectile size reduced from 0.18 to 0.15. Lucio, sound wave, damage increased from 25 to 35. Knockback increased 12%. Movement and lockout duration increased from 0.3 to 0.45.
All right, guys. Well, that is this projected patch notes. Now, keep in mind, as far as I'm aware, these are not official. This is just, but it is extremely detailed. So I would be shocked if it's fake, being as that I've seen leaks like this before. This is going to be one of the most jarring Overwatch changes I think we've ever seen, if it's real. It is going to change everything about the meta and how we play the game. Obviously, we'll be doing our usual testing, see how it works, see how everything plays, and giving you our best bet on the tier list. Probably going to do a mid-patch tier list as well to update based on how we feel later. But other than that, that is it for this speculative patch notes. We'll see, and let me know down below what you think. If this is real, do you think it's going to be good if it goes in? Do you hate it? Do you love it? How's your day? Whatever you want to type, go ahead. And thank you for watching.